a fan of the Dragon Ball Super card game? If so, check out QueenCityGaming.com for sealed product, singles, and more. Just use promo code MafubaJar-10 to save 10% off your order every time.
Welcome back to the Mafuba Jar, where you've been sealed away for another awesome deck profile. And today, I'm going to be profiling you guys a deck that came straight from the new Tournament of Power set, and that's going to be our new Goku deck. And I gotta say, I have underestimated this set like crazy, and this is a leader in particular that I very much underestimated, regardless of his limitations, which we're gonna go ahead and look at him, because with those, he's actually a pretty good leader. So he is a Warrior of Universe 7, so pretty much all Universe 7 cards, you could pay them off as if they had no specified cost. So that's pretty cool. And the one thing about him that made me go, oh man, ugh, at first, was his permanent, is that you cannot include non-Universe 7 cards in this deck. And that does apply for extra cards too. So for like Sensu Bean, Objection, the Whis Negates, you cannot have these in here. That was the official ruling by Bandai, because that was a little questionable for a bit, but Bandai did confirm it, which I thought was going to be a huge problem, but it wasn't, because this exact deck here, I actually took to a tournament very recently, and I took 9th out of over 30 players. So it was really, really cool, because they had prizes all the way down to top 16, and top 8 got their really amazing stuff, and I just bubbled out of that, because this lead is really good, and the Universe 7 stuff we have is pretty darn good too. So let's go ahead and take more of a closer look at him. His auto is when this card attacks a leader card, you draw 1 card, and he gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So pretty much if they awaken before you, you could still put pressure on your opponent and draw at the same time, which is really awesome. He awakens at 4 life, and you retap 2 energy. So that's pretty cool as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at his awakened side here, which that artwork, if nothing else, you're going to outstyle your opponent with this. Because look at this artwork. This is the main reason I wanted to try this deck in the first place. Just because of that artwork on the Awakened one. So awesome. So on his Awakened side, he still has Universal Warrior 7. So that's pretty cool. Universal Warrior 7. What's wrong with me? Warrior of Universe 7. And he has 2 autos. His first auto is when his card attacks, draw a card. And his card gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So he's already a 20 attacker that draws a card. So that's really, really awesome. And his second auto, which actually helped me win my first game, is that when his card is attacked, you may place 2 Universe 7 cards from your hand to the drop area, and you negate that attack and the skill for the duration of the turn. So you can only activate this once per turn, but he has a negate in his own, which my opponent did not realize, and that's how I was able to win my first round against him. So a very good leader. Out of all the Universe 7 leaders, he does the most for himself. And again, it sounds very limited, but it really isn't, because Universe 7 cards do so much here. And keep in mind, this is the exact list that I took, but there are changes I would make, and I'm going to show you those changes, and I'm going to be going with those changes when we do the battle video. So just a heads up there. So with that, let's get right into our deck profile here. Gonna start off here with 4 copies of Ready to Fight Son Goku. This is going to be one of our searches of the deck, because you pay 1 energy, and you look at your top 3 cards, and you get out any Universe 7 and add it to your hand. And since literally your entire deck is Universe 7, it is impossible for you to whiff. So you're always going to get something with this card, and also with this card right here, Universe 7 Representative. So this card's permanent is that it gains Universe 7 in all areas, so you are allowed to run this extra card in your Goku deck. And your activate means you look at the top 7 and you get out any Universe 7 among them, and you add it to your hand. And it doesn't say Universe 7 battle card. Both of these do. So you can literally search. You can literally play this, search this out. You can play this, search any Universe 7 card. You can even search another one of this if you really wanted to. But like I said, these are impossible to whiff because your entire deck is Universe 7. And now we're gonna go ahead and show off the 4 Master Roshi running in this deck. This is gonna be your negate for the deck. So not only does your leader negate, but you have this card to negate as well. So you have ways of defense. So no need to worry about that. He's pretty much a 1-drop that he plays a negate. And now let's get into our super combo cards here. Gonna be playing 4 copies of Backbone of Universe 7 Son Goku. It's this typical super combo card. You gain 10,000, you draw a card, but you can activate this when your leader's at 5 life. So you can activate this card sooner, which is really, really awesome. And that's meant you have plenty of ways to search it. All right, now for our 3 drops, gonna be playing 4 copies of Infinite Energy Android 18. This is pretty much our combo rest mode. How do I phrase it? It's the card you combo that you get to play in rest mode. Pretty much that's our version of the deck. So you combo with her, play her in rest mode, and she becomes a 15 beater to keep going onward. So pretty cool, and you have plenty of ways to search her as well. Alright, and next up what I did run for this tournament was 4 copies of Energy Guard Android 17. Now this is the first one here that I would change. But first of all, he's not bad. He's a blocker, and his autos at the end of your turn switch his card to active mode. So you can attack with him when you play him and then switch him back at the end of your turn to use him as a blocker. But this one I never really got to pull off, mainly because my opponent kept playing stuff that easily popped, like Cell, Salad Squad Engine, all that good stuff. Literally, I only pulled him off once and they dealt with him immediately. So the card I would have run instead, and I will be replacing him, is replacing him with 4 copies of Focus Mind Piccolo, because he is a blocker as well, and he has barrier, so stuff like Kale, Cell, anything that pops can't get rid of him. And his permanent is during your opponent's turn, if you have 4 or more energy, this card gains 5,000 power. So he's a blocker, 20,000, and he has barrier, so he's almost like a great ape, and we all know those are not easy to deal with. So I feel he's a much more efficient blocker, and I will be replacing Android 17 with this. But Android 17 alone isn't bad. It's just I personally kept facing a lot of things that pop, and things that pop are very big in the meta right now. And next up, I'm gonna tell you guys, this was like an unexpected hero for me. 4 copies of Destructo Disc Krillin. Like, this is probably one of the best cards in the deck. So he's a 3-drop, 15,000, and his auto is when you play this card, if your leader card is Universe 7, you choose 1 card in your life, add it to your hand, and you can pop battle cards on your opponent's side, which the total cost adds up to 3 or less, and knock them out. So this card, with that wording, can deal with tokens, no problem, which is good. And even though it's only up to 3, which may not sound too impressive, you gotta keep in mind the cards that are low cost, like Sand Kaba, the 2-drop Kaba. You could pop those cards, which is actually what I did with this deck when I was playing against the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I managed to pop Kabas, I popped his 3-drop Rollies. Yeah, like there's a lot of cards that are in range with this guy here, and that's mentioned he adds a life to your hand, so that was definitely like a big unsung hero for me. Another card to come out of set that is just amazing overall is 4 copies of Focus Mind Son Gohan. So first of all, he has barrier, which a lot of my opponents did not realize. So they would like play cards to try to pop him. They couldn't, because no one realized he had barrier, which is so good. And his activate main is amazing. You look at the top 7 cards from the top of your deck and choose up to 1 Universe 7 among them. You play that card by paying its energy cost, then shuffling your deck. Which again, it's impossible to whiff. Everything in here is Universe 7. And you could like, the thing I did with him is I played him, I waited a turn for my energy to retap, and then next turn I activated him, and I got out some pretty amazing things. So, amazing card here. This and Krillin won me the most games. Alright, and next up I run his Evolved form. 4 copies of Resulted Training Son Gohan. Now, I would still keep this card, but I wouldn't run it at 4. I would take 1 out and actually replace it with another one of this card here, which I'm going to be explaining this one in a lot more detail, because this one also did a lot for me. But that's still a really good card. His Evolve is 4 of any energy, so it doesn't really matter, on top of Son Gohan, a Universe 7 Son Gohan Adolescence. And his permanent is if there are 2 or more Universe 7 cards in your combo area, this card gains Triple Strike. So you get whatever attack boost from the combos, and he's Triple Strike, which I did pull off once against a Cell. So it was really wild there. And his auto is really good, but you can't use the auto in this deck. The auto is when a card evolves into this card, if your leader card is blue, choose up to 3 Universe 7 with energy cost 3 or less from your hand and play them. So with this deck, since Goku is a green leader, you can't activate that, but it's still a triple striker, which is really, really good. And you want to keep your options open. So definitely with that. Like I said, I would just take out 1, but I would still keep this here, just because having a triple striker is amazing. All right, next up, I ran 3 copies of Surprise Attack Majin Buu. When you play this card, you choose up to 1 Majin Buu with 25,000 or less power from your deck and add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. And really our only valuable search target. is going to be 3 copies of Majin Buu full of energy. So he's an Evolve 3 on top of a Majin Buu, a red Majin Buu. He's double strike and has Barrier, which is pretty good. And his activate main is choose 1 card in your life added to your hand. This card gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. And that activate main is not once per turn, so it's really, really good. But I would take this out entirely because not only did I never play it, but the one time I was able to pull it off, I lost with it. So in this particular deck, there's not much merit to having the Majin Buu engine, but the Majin Buu engine is amazing overall, especially if you're trying to go with Buuhan. Because this helps out Buuhan like crazy, but in this particular deck, it did me no good. Because I already had Krillin and one more way to help me awaken that actually was better. But what I would replace it with, I would replace it with 3 copies of Whis, Mentor, and Beerus, and 3 copies of the new 5-drop Beerus. So this Whis here has Barrier, and it reduces the cost of all Beerus in your hand by 1, and you can only have 1 of this guy out. So you can't spam Whis to reduce the cost of your Beerus even more, that'd be busted. But we're playing this Beerus here because we pay him off of 4 energy as long as our Whis is on board, and not to mention the Whis has Barrier too, so it would be really hard for them to get rid of this Whis. So this Beerus has double strike, and his auto is when this card attacks a leader card, your opponent chooses any number of cards from their hand, battle area, or energy area for which the total cost adds up to 6 or more and places them in the drop area. Now there is kind of a problem with this card because if they have nothing in their battle area, and pretty much when it comes down to their hand, they can lie and say they don't have enough energy cost in their hand to pitch, and if the cards they have in their energy adds up to less than 6, they can just lie and say, no, I do not, because their hand is a secret area, which is a really bad ruling, I feel, because it pretty much makes it legal to lie. But I would play this card when they have high cost battle cards there, so they can't lie. Like, they have to do something. If they have battle cards that are 6 or more, they gotta do something. Whether it's pitch from their hand, or get rid of that battle card, or I doubt they would, but even get rid of their energy. Yeah, play this card when they have high cost battle cards, so that way they have to pitch something, they can't lie. So it becomes really good for that. So that's why I'm going to be replacing it with to try. Alright, the next thing here is going to be our final Goku engine here, which another unsung hero for me from 2 of my matches. This was an amazing card. It's going to be full power Spirit Bomb Son Goku. Now this is pretty much to EX evolve into our 8 drops, but he's pretty good on his own too. He's got double strike. His auto is when you play this card, you draw a card, then you get to retap 1 of your energy, which is pretty good. And his activate main is choose 2 cards in your life, add them to your hand. This card gains 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. So even though he becomes a 35 double striker, you will almost never attack with this card, because the main purpose is just to retap the energy. And the combo I like to do is that if my opponent's trying to starve me, what I would do is I would play this card, retap, draw a card, then activate its main to take 2 to my hand, awaken him to retap 2 more energy. So he's 3 total energy retapped. And that's going to help you go into this guy right here. So I ran 3 copies of Son Goku Hope of Universe 7, but as I said, I would take out one of the Results of Training Son Gohan to put a 4th one in here, just because he's really amazing. So what this guy does, he's an EX evolve. You pitch 2 Universe 7 cards from your hand to a drop area to evolve on top of a Universe 7 Son Goku with an energy cost of 5 or more, which that's the only one we have at the moment. But it's good because he retaps and helps your leader retap. And he has triple attack, which is really good, and he has critical. So that alone is pretty amazing. And his auto is when this card attacks, if your leader card is green, choose up to 1 card. Choose up to 1 card from your opponent's hand or 1 of their battle cards and place it in the drop area. I always picked hand, but it's nice to know that you have the option for battle area as well. So there was like a game where you could attack twice with them, hit them for critical, and make them pitch. And this is something I actually did against a Cell player. I did that twice. EX Evolve on top of this again, because it becomes a brand new card once you do that. I attacked 2 more times, making them pitch and more critical hits, and then did it 1 more time, just make them pitch and hit critical hits for game. So there's a lot of really fancy stuff you can do with that. It's a really, really good card. And as for my final card, I am going to be running Son Goku, the Awakened Power, the Secret Rare with this deck. And wow, that's a lot of glare, so let me put it up closer for you guys to read. So he's an EX Evolve. You place 1 Universe 7 in your hand to drop berry on top of your Son Goku with energy cost of 6 or more. That's Universe 7. And it's 1 colorless energy just like the other one, so it's pretty cheap to bring out. He's an ultimate, so of course we can only have 1 of this in here. And Victory Strike. Oh boy, when you deal life damage by attacking with this card, you win the game. And its permanent is this card's attack and skill cannot be negated. And believe it or not, guys, I did pull this off 1 game. It won me my second to final match. So what I did is I attacked with this twice because I did the combo that I told you guys about by retapping 1 with this, taking 2 life, and retapping 2 more. So I went here, I attacked him twice. He negated the first one, but he still had the pitch. And then after I did it the second time, he was down to 5 life and he had no hand. So he was able to re-stance it. He had triple attack. I went with this with no hand, no blocker. I attacked, won that game with this card. So it's really, really awesome to pull it off, but in reality, this is going to be your most consistent win condition. But pulling this off, it just gives you such a good feeling. But no, yeah, this is going to be your main win condition. Triple critical, just too good. This guy's also pretty good as well. And of course, you're just having a good day when you pull this one off. There's no reason not to run him in here because it takes up only 1 space. Not to mention, he's searchable. Everything in this deck is searchable with these 2 cards. So there's a lot of consistency here. And it's a very simple deck too. So if you're brand new to the game, obviously, of course, you don't have to run the Victory Strike because that's just a lot of money. But this is a deck I would definitely recommend for beginners because it's a simple idea deck and it does a lot. And hopefully we'll be getting more Universe 7 support so we can build him more with more variety. Because at the moment, there is not too much variety with this. There's actually only a few Universe 7 cards I did not put in here. The biggest one is the 5-drop Frieza. Now the reason I chose not to put him in here is that he's a really good card with dual attack and he can tap 2 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier. That's really good. And if you're going to an event where it's 2 out of 3 with sideboard, I would absolutely sideboard that card. It's just, I just don't like him in the main deck with this guy as a leader. But like I said, 2 out of 3, absolutely sideboard 4 of him because that's so good. And there's a few others too that just don't really fit with this particular leader and what he's trying to do. So there you guys have it. That is my Universe 7 Goku deck. As I said, for the battle video, I will be making the changes with the Piccolos, as you can see right here, the 4th Son Goku, and also the Whis and Beerus package. Those are just changes I feel will make the deck better. But if you like the deck exactly as it is, then by all means go for it. Or there's other cards you would put in here in general, go for it. But there's not too many other cards that you could put in at the moment. But no, yes, even though I would make those changes to make it better, I still did really well because most of what I faced were actually meta decks that just didn't know what this guy did. So I got him by surprise and I won most of my matches with it. So very good deck. I definitely underestimated him like crazy. I underestimated this whole set. Like, whoo, man, there was some pretty crazy stuff in the set. So if you guys enjoyed this deck profile, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And come back next time for my good buddy Chris's deck profile. So definitely don't want to miss that. And I'll see you guys later. And with that, you have been released.